pumped to talk to you guys about the leadership ladder today. I truly feel like if you embrace this, this is going to take your business from ordinary to extraordinary. I wish that I had this leadership ladder as a brand new coach. You guys have like the upper hand. So, as a new coach, right, and even myself, I would look around as I was starting to advance in the business. And I would say, why is that person further along in the business than I am? How many of you have done that? Why are they earning more money? How did they get to that rank? How did they get there? And so we really had nothing other than the compensation plan to say, at Emerald, you should have 2 coaches. At Diamond, you should have this many coaches. Well, the leadership ladder really allows you to kind of put those blinders on and be able to look down and say, okay, if I want to make X amount of money, then I need to be doing these behaviors in my business. So this leadership ladder gives you a really clear roadmap for how to move your business forward and really create sustainability and income, because that's truly what we're all here for. So the leadership ladder is going to help you recognize gaps in your business. You might be an Emerald coach, you might be trying to achieve the first rung, and if you look at the benchmarks in your Coach Online office, in your training tab, you can see, okay, if I want to get to the first rung of Team Builder, I need to do X, Y, and Z. And even if you just leave off one of the benchmarks along the way, you could be really missing the gap to get to that next level. Also, it's going to give you strategy. It's going to help you to really look at your business and say, okay, where do I need to go from here? Once I master the 3 vital behaviors, what's the next step? How do I continue to ensure that I'm growing my business? Guys, it's going to help you set tangible and quantifiable goals. You can go right down through the benchmarks and check them off. Yep, mastered this, did that. All right, what's next? And you can very clearly paint a picture of where you're going, but also think about how you can use this for your team. So when you're talking to your coaches and they're telling you what they want to achieve in their business, you can really say, all right, here you go. This is where you start. You start at the very beginning and you build this really solid foundation. All right, so the leadership ladder really helps with this idea of building stability. So anybody can get to, Emerald. Anybody can sign up their mom, their spouse, a significant other, and can advance to Emerald. But that doesn't mean that you're creating stability in your organization. It just means you've sponsored 2 people that are loyal Shakeology customers, that are enrolled in your challenge groups, but they are not themselves engaged in enrolling activity. So you're not really creating income at this point. So when you're looking at the leadership ladder, we're really helping you to take your foundation of Emerald and say, okay, I want to build a foundation that's built on rock, not on sand. I want to help you get to Diamond, and I want you to be able to decorate that with volume, with income, with Success Club points. All right? So that's really what we're trying to picture. And like I said before, the compensation plan did not tell you that at Diamond, your average should be this much. So this really gives you that. Achieving Diamond rank is a great milestone. It's kind of like the first big step into leadership. And that recognition that you get, that your coach gives you, that lasts for 5 minutes. But what is gonna last for the long haul is what's gonna be deposited in your bank account. That paycheck that helps you achieve your financial dreams and your goals and helps you prepare for your future. So it takes it and just makes it so much more than a rank. This helps you build your future. All right, so I love this slide. Whenever I get new Diamond coaches, we talk about, the first step in your business is getting to Diamond, now what? And so when I was preparing for this presentation, I read this to them and I said, okay, guys, you're Diamond, but do you know that the average monthly earnings of coaches who consistently perform at the team leader rung of the leadership ladder is $2,395? And they all just went, oh, we were on a Zoom call and their mouths were just hanging open. I said, no, seriously, this is what your income potential is. This is what we're shooting for. And so I started telling them, and they're like, well, we're not even near that yet. Yesterday we were an emerald, today we're diamond, and maybe my team cycle increased just a little bit, but not like this. And I'm like, but this is the goal, right? This is really thinking outside of the box. And what the big thing here is, it's consistently. It is people that are consistently earning this income are consistently hitting the benchmark. So they're hitting the volume. They're getting Success Club themselves. They're sponsoring coaches who are also hitting Success Club. And it's not just diamond, but it's all the pieces put together. And the big glaring word is consistency. All right, so using this leadership ladder also can really help you to be proactive versus reactive. In your business, even right now, sitting here out in the audience as a brand new coach, paid your $40 coach sign-up fee, invested in a challenge pack, how do you make sure that you are building a business? And that starts with really getting down and saying, okay, 3 vital behaviors. You're inviting for your first challenge group. You're not having a really hard time getting your first couple of customers. Maybe you hit Success Club. Maybe you have a great warm market. But the 3 vital behaviors are something you have to do, even if you had an easy time at first. Because if you're not thinking ahead to the fact that that warm market is going to dry up eventually, and you're not planting seeds and inviting new people and adding to your contact list, your business comes to a stop. And then it's harder to keep that momentum going in your business. So the leadership ladder really helps you to say, all right, check it off. Did I invite today? Did I add to my contact list? And then even taking it a step further and saying, let me anticipate obstacles. What could potentially happen next month? August, towards the end of August, is notoriously a time when, everybody goes back to school and parents are very distracted and money's been spent other places for kids, on sporting activities, and we have to work a little harder. We have to invite a little more. But if you are doing the 3 vital behaviors now, and you're saying to yourself, I gotta think like a business owner, I've gotta anticipate these obstacles, I've gotta prepare for the future. And if you're thinking like that, you're not gonna have those start and stops in your business. Starting now, as a coach, as an emerald, start putting systems in place. As you find scripts that really work for you on inviting, on following up, on handling objections, as a new coach, start a folder on your computer where you're like, this is it. This is the money post. Every time I do this, I get a great response. Or every time I respond this way, people commit and they pull the trigger. And if you start to create that stuff now and start to create duplication even at the coach level, when you start enrolling coaches that are go-getters and want to take it and run with it, you're like, hey, I've already got this material for you. I don't need to go out and search for it. So you guys can really be thinking ahead of what your future team is going to need in order to be successful. And then lastly, personal growth and development. If you skip this step, this is gonna stop you. I always hear people say, oh, I poo-pooed on personal development. I didn't think it was important, and so I just didn't do it. And I will tell you that if it wasn't for the slight edge, if it wasn't for me reading that book as a new coach and knowing that it was the small, seemingly insignificant tasks like reaching out to 3 new people every single day that were gonna build my business, I don't know that I would have stuck with it. It's personal development that helps keep you on the offense instead of that defense. So the first step is team builder in your leadership ladder, right? And this is also really signified at the Emerald coach level. So it's anywhere between Emerald and Ruby and almost Diamond. And so we're really focusing on, and I'll give you some of the stats. So your average monthly earnings are 250 bonus points, dollars. Success Club 5, you're an Emerald coach, so you've at least sponsored 2 people. You have 2 personally sponsored coaches with 1 or more Success Club point, and you have 200 team volume on your weak leg. Now, some of you may have one and not the other. Some of you may have just gone Emerald yesterday, right? But this is not like oh, I'm not doing my job. This is more of a, look, I can do more. I can create more. This is to get you out of that comfort zone and making sure that you're always building your business. And so talk to your team about this. when they advance to the next rank, or when they're shooting to set goals to help them to earn an income, talk about this leadership ladder so it can paint the picture of what each step in the business is going to look like. So when I teach my team and they say, I'm a go-getter, I really want to go all in and I want to build this business, I give them the benchmarks of the leader ladder, but then I say, okay, if you're turbocharging your business, it's not a Success Club 5, it's Success Club 10. If you're turbocharging your business because you want to hit these benchmarks faster, it's not recruiting 1 or 2, it's recruiting 3 or 4 every single month. And I really talk to them about how to take things to the next level. Recruiting, master the art of inviting, not just 2 or 3 people, 10 people. Get out there and start expanding your market. The more connections you can make every single day, the faster you're gonna get to those benchmarks. Understanding social media, not all of it, but dominate one area of social media. Make it your passion, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or blogging, whatever it is, pick one that you're gonna be known for. And then invite process, and I can't drive that home enough. That invite process is just so key, getting over that fear. All right, so this is a good question to ask yourself. We stand up here and we preach to you to do the 3 vital behaviors. We tell you to invite, we tell you to start challenge groups, but here's the thing. As a leader, do you tell your team Success Club is a non-negotiable? Do you tell them they have to do it? But then do you turn around and look at yourself and say, well, am I leading by example? Am I doing it too? In this business, the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And if you want your team to run with you, you have to be out front running ahead of them. And if you can say to yourself, all right, let me go back. Maybe you're a diamond coach right now. Don't just look at the leadership ladder at the diamond level today. Go back to the beginning and say, all right, am I doing everything along the way to be a good leader? Am I setting the bar? Am I doing what my team wants me to do? Because if you're down in the trenches doing it right alongside of them, you don't even have to say anything. They're just gonna follow your lead. And that's how you can really use this to your benefit. So there's no secret sauce, right? And you get asked that all the time. I get asked that question, what is it? What is the secret to building your business? And there's this quote that I read in a John Maxwell book that really stuck out to me. And it says, there are no successful day traders in leadership. What matters most is what you do over the long haul. So, are you starting now and today at building a solid foundation that you can build this amazing house that becomes decorated with volume and income and future financial freedom? Build those relationships. Connect with people. Do you have a system for follow-up? We invite, but the second piece of the puzzle is having a good way of making sure that you've checked back in with those people. And all of those things are benchmarks on that leadership ladder. And that if you're missing one, it could hold you back. Even starting to create a supportive team environment with the 1 or 2 people that you have on your growing team. Doing little Zoom calls with each other, making sure they feel connected and supported. All of those things are part of the bigger picture. Remember, each person that you enroll as a challenger or as a coach, they're more than a Success Club point. They're sitting on the other side of that computer enrolling in your team for a reason. They believe in you. And if you pour your heart and soul into them and teach them exactly what you've done in your business, they're gonna be successful and follow your lead too. All right, so let's move on to the next level, diamond coaches, and we're working towards team leader. And let me just read these to you. 1,000 bonus points per month, or $1,000 on average, is what you should be earning at the team leader. Success Club 5, but what did I say? Success Club 10 if you're turbocharging, right? Diamond, 4 personally sponsored coaches with 1 or more Success Club point, and 5,000 team volume on your weak leg. Now, I tell new diamond coaches this, and they're like, I am not even close to that, right? That weak leg volume, darn it, it gets you. But when you get to diamond, we get this big, climax where we're so excited to get there, and then it's like, well, what's next? Where do I go from here? And so if you take the team leader and you start to dissect this and you say, okay, I'm looking at my organization. I've got a couple of people I'm not sure if they're gonna stick around over here. Let me highlight them. Go to your sponsorship drill down and look at all of your personally sponsored coaches. Do any of them have Success Club points? Out of your working coaches, who is actually doing the business? Are your emeralds stable, or are they a little bit shaky? And this is where you can start to say, all right, set the bar higher. Let me set some push goals for myself. And this is where you can start to really take Diamond and make it explode and really just raise that bar in your business. So, Diamond means you really got to step out of your comfort zone, and you really got to start doing some things that are going to help you recruit and bring in those people on your team that are just as passionate as you are. So the first thing that everybody cringes when I say is holding business opportunity calls, but it's key. It is really key to you attracting people that are going to help you build that volume. So start setting a plan in place. August, everybody's doing their own business opportunity calls. Even if your upline can do it better, if you're Diamond and above, take those reins and go do it. You'll get better the more you practice. Communicating with your team, hosting team calls, understanding the strategy of the business. You are the CEO of your own business. You are Carl's, you are John's. This is your job. You have to think like a business owner if you want to create sustainable long-term income. Focus on your downline. Always lead with integrity, with passion, with heart and hustle, and you truly will get there, and it will happen. This will occur from the moment you go Diamond. It will take you time to get there, but it's such a great feeling to see your organization grow and not worry about going anywhere, and knowing that, you know what, if you have to take a day or two off, you know you're guiding your team in the right direction, and they can keep it going without you. So let's really ask ourselves a few things. Self-evaluation is key. I do this with myself on my social media. So I try to at least a couple of times a week step back and look at my timeline on Facebook, and I say to myself, all right, if I was not a Beachbody coach, if I didn't know me and I came to my Facebook page, would I think I was interesting? Was I sharing or was I selling? Would you want to join my team? Am I authentic? Am I showing just shared posts, or is it stuff that's created by me? So I evaluate my social media, but I also do this in my business too. And I give myself a good gut check and say, there's always room for improvement. It doesn't matter how many accolades or awards that you've received, there is still room to be a better leader. Are you running monthly coach basics? This is so key. When I started running monthly coach basics, and then the second key is doing those Zoom chats or Google chats, whatever you guys use, doing those every single week was the secret sauce to Coach Basics. But when I started doing that, I went from a 2-star to a 15-star in 1 year because I focused on the skills of my team, making sure that they were supported and they were growing. It wasn't about me, it was about them. Getting your coaches started right, which goes right along with Coach Basics, making sure that you're getting them started and they're getting moving in the right pace at the right time. That is so important, that you're on the phone and you're guiding them and showing them the tools and helping them get that first challenge group up and running. Trust me, they're overwhelmed. They need you. They need to know what you're doing to ease it up so they don't have to reinvent the wheel. Understand your organization and realize that what you do now, that determines your future success. It's laying the foundation today that isn't glamorous, that isn't pretty, that takes a lot of sweat and hard work, that's gonna set you up for those future advancements and that future increase in your volume. So as you're moving up the rungs of the ladder, think about a few things. Are you maintaining consistency on a daily basis? Every single day, 365 days out of the year, are you consistent? Also, the leader ladder is dynamic. You're not a lifetime team builder anymore. It's dynamic. If you let your foot off of the gas, then you can drop back down to a team builder. It's constantly challenging you to look at your business in a way that promotes growth and future stability. It gives you checks and balances, and it's strategy. So, as I leave you guys here today, I really want you to think about this leadership ladder as your foundation. This is your house. What do you want it to look like? And if you really want to have future sustainability, future success, and growth, then embrace this leadership ladder. Take it back to your team, train them, share it, make it a part of everything that you do. Because if you build that on the lower rungs, when you get up higher, it's just gonna be so much easier. All right, thank you so much, guys, and enjoy the rest of your summit.